Gilded Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Hero Factor: How Great Leaders Transform Cultures and Create Winning Organizations, by Jeffrey W. Hayzlett with Jim Eber. Narrated by Jeffrey Hayzlett. Quotes from Hero Leaders. Katharine Graham. To love what you do and feel that it matters. How could anything be more fun? Napoleon Hill. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. Amelia Earhart. The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity. Norman Vincent Peale. Happiness will never come if it's a goal in itself. Happiness is a byproduct of a commitment to worthy causes. Dale Carnegie. Flaming enthusiasm, backed up by horse sense and persistence, is the quality that most frequently makes for success. To the hero business leaders who have led the way to build their communities, enrich the lives of others, and make this world a better place, and to the future heroes who are inspired to follow in those leaders' footsteps, to build new hero cultures, teams, and businesses, and leave this world better than the way they found it. Origin Story. By many key indicators, the American economy was on fire in 1998. Unemployment was the lowest it had been in 30 years. Wages were on the rise for many workers. America was growing, and I was one of the beneficiaries of that growth. I had already made my first million, and my businesses were doing well, and I had a happy life and a great family, but I still had regular throwdowns with my father-in-law, Bob, on our favorite subjects, politics and business. Bob has been a hard-working farmer all of his life. He will ride a tractor until we pry his cold, dead hands off of it, and he shows no signs of letting go. All of our conversations have been fun, but few have stuck in my mind like the one we had in the fall of 1998. I didn't think there was much to debate, but there we were, talking about the state of American business, when Bob looked directly at me and made a comment about the fat cats, the people taking in millions of dollars, and how they don't pay their fair share. Anyone who knows me knows it takes the metaphorical equivalent of a truck hitting me to render me speechless, even for a moment. But there I was, unable to speak as I processed what Bob had said. Who do you think those fat cats are? I asked him. By your definition, I'm one of those fat cats. Do you think I don't pay my fair share? Bob shook his head no, but I wasn't convinced. So I hit him with all I had. Right, I'm your son-in-law, and I pay my fair share. Most of the people you call fat cats, who I know, do too. What you're saying is based on the perception of a few. Most of the richest Americans do great things. Taking them down doesn't build us up. It destroys the people who work for them. Bob seemed like he wanted to respond, but I was on a roll. To say the richest people are evil simply because they make money also ignores that capitalism creates altruism. You can only win in capitalism by providing a service or selling something people need or want. Most of these people you call fat cats simply found a way to do that by building, creating, or innovating and making this country great. Nothing works in America without paying for it in some way, and someone is going to profit from that. To say rich people don't pay their fair share ignores their contributions to the process of human advancement. I'll be honest, I don't remember what Bob said next, but after I got down from my soapbox, I understood why he said what he said. Perception is reality. I could see how corrupt the idea of anyone making millions like those fat cats was from his point of view. For them to win, everyone else had to lose, especially people like Bob, who work hard and get their hands dirty. Some of the things he saw in 1998 still resonate with people today. Inflated CEO salaries backed by golden parachutes, no matter how badly they fail. Well-paying jobs being sent overseas to improve margins and enrich shareholders. Hard-working families and farmers like Bob getting squeezed for every dollar and foreclosed on by heartless banks. The worship of Wall Street over Main Street. The list goes on. But most of those fat cats I knew personally were making money legally and respectably. They were not literally getting their hands dirty working the land to earn a living like my father-in-law, but what they did was not dirty. I was convinced Bob was only seeing the bad side of business. Now, if you're expecting a come-to-Jesus moment where Bob opens my eyes to the truth and I hear my call to hero leadership, you're as wrong as he was. He may have been a farmer not far from Iowa, but this was not my field of dreams moment. At that time, I didn't question whether there was more than just perception to Bob's reality, but there was. I didn't see that while the economy was growing, wages stayed stagnant for many Americans. I did make the connection that while productivity was increasing, people were working hundreds of hours more for less pay. That income inequality was still on the rise. That the richest 10% were reaping almost all the benefits of growth. America was growing, but not everyone was winning. In fact, fewer and fewer were. Then the dot-com bubble burst at the dawn of the 21st century, and America learned that some of those gains were nothing but air. But I didn't see any of that at the time. I was doing well, and I knew I was doing right by my family, the people who work for me, and myself. How could I be wrong if I was sure what I was doing was right? I'll be honest again. Even when I got the first call to hero leadership more than a decade later, as America struggled to recover from the Great Recession, I didn't answer it. Because again, I didn't feel I was doing anything wrong, and truthfully, I wasn't. I was doing well, and I didn't feel I needed to do more. And doing well is good. It's fine. But it's not being a hero. Part 1. The Call to Hero Leadership and the Hero Factor. As you listen to this book, you'll find that hero leadership is a choice to be more than good, more than great, no matter the circumstances. Hero leadership does not choose you. It is a conscious choice leaders and companies make to decide what they value and to hold themselves accountable to live those values consistently and sustainably in everything they do. This is where our hero factor journey begins. In this part, I'll walk you through what that call to leadership might look like for you. Every origin story is different, after all. Then we'll create a working definition of your hero factor and learn how you can measure it. Let's go. Chapter 1. The Call to Hero Leadership. Meet Bubba. Things aren't going so well for him until one day he passes a billboard for the lottery and he sees it at a record jackpot. If only he could win the lottery, he thinks, that would solve all of his problems. So Bubba gets down on his knees and prays, "Lord, please let me win the lottery. Please let me win the lottery. Please let me win the lottery." Every day, Bubba gets down on his knees and he prays. He also makes sure to live his best life. He does good deeds. He goes to church. He tells everyone that God will provide. He knows it. He feels it. But when Saturday's drawing comes, Bubba doesn't win. Next week, the same thing. And the following week. And the following week. Week after week, the jackpot grows and Bubba never wins. Finally, someone else claims that record prize. Upon hearing the news, Bubba finally breaks down, falls to his knees, and cries out, "God, why didn't I win? I've been a good soul and a good citizen. I've prayed and I've gone to church. I felt you would provide. Why?" And to Bubba's surprise, the Lord answers him, "Bubba, you gotta buy a ticket." Not even God can help you if you don't make the choice that leads to what you want. Hearing the call is one thing, choosing to answer is another. But this is not a book about God or the lottery, but it's about Bubba in a way. Because in a book about hearing and answering the call to hero leadership, I'm not just starting with a joke about Bubba. I am Bubba. Or at least I started out that way. I literally took a call to hero leadership and then refused to buy the ticket. In 2009, Randy Garn, a founding partner of Hero Partners, invited me to attend their annual meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Hero Partners was a nationwide invitation-only entrepreneurs club for leaders from fast-growth companies who pledged themselves to hero leadership and who collaborate to revive the spirit of American entrepreneurialism. These were people and companies I knew and or admired. It was an honor to be considered as a guest, let alone be invited to join. Randy and other members must have seen something in me that aligned with their vision of Hero Partners' future. Of course, I said no. Just call me Bubba. In all fairness, the future was uncertain for me and the country at the time. As America struggled to recover from the Great Recession, I was entering what would be my final year at Kodak as its CMO. But the following year, I had left Kodak, and Randy called me again. I still said no. Next year, the same thing. And the next year. One year even put Rudy Rudiger on the phone to help recruit me. The Rudy from Notre Dame. The guy who inspired the film Rudy, one of my all-time favorite sports movies. It was amazing to talk to him, but still, nope. For 7 years, Randy called me, and for 7 years I said no, 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 no. But on the 8th time, I not only answered Randy's call to become a hero partner, but to borrow a legendary phrase from Victor Khayyam. I loved it so much, I bought the company. Well, part of it. The Hero Club, a nationwide organization of business leaders who pledge themselves to hero leadership. We have expanded well beyond Jackson Hole to host hundreds of leaders in cities across the country who genuinely care about leading and serving others. We unite to collaborate, communicate, and inspire hero leadership in one another and in and through our companies. My work with the Hero Club inspired me to write this book, but it also forced me to reflect on why I resisted Randy's call for so long. I wasn't really Bubba. I made a conscious choice not to buy my ticket to Hero Partners. But I was seeking to understand what changed in me so I could explain it to you and to other members of the Hero Club. Because I felt different. So different that I made it part of my business, not just how I do business. So why did I wait so many years to buy a ticket? Was it because committing to hero leadership is hard? No, I've never been afraid of hard work, and I know leading the right way requires grit, determination, and focus. Was it because I didn't have the time? Time is a precious commodity, but I make time for things that are important to me. Was it because I didn't understand what it meant to be a hero leader? Maybe, but I had a good idea what it meant and certainly respected Randy and the other people who attended. Was it because I didn't want to challenge the status quo? Come on, have you met me? I love a challenge as much as I like disrupting the status quo. None of my becauses answered my why. But as I started to write this book, I looked in the mirror and I realized I saw a Bubba who wasn't ready to be a hero, who didn't understand what it meant and who didn't know why it was important. In other words, I still didn't think I was a hero. Sure, I had what I thought were hero qualities. I demand authenticity from myself and those who work for me. I've always tried to be the best me I can be and encourage that in others. I am clear on what my values are and how they reflect in the values of the company. I push to break free from antiquated leadership models. I strive to be an inclusive, strong, decisive, yet open leader and to set a good example for my people and other leaders so I can earn their trust. I encourage people to be themselves, not another version of me. Heck, I've already written 3 books on business leadership in addition to leading businesses of all sizes. But did all that add up to being a hero? The answer was no. I was a good, sometimes great, leader at a good, sometimes great company, but a hero? I wanted to be one, but I wasn't there yet. I'm nowhere near perfect, and the idea of calling myself a hero was, at the very least, uncomfortable. I wish I was as good as the others with whom I've surrounded myself. This revelation became a mirror moment for me, a kind of business confessional to myself. You hypocritical son of a bitch, I said to my reflection. How many times had I not done all those things I just said? Disappointed people, disappointed myself, done something unheroic when I knew better, missed the point, got stuck in the past, ignored a problem I knew was happening, failed to listen, not made time for people or fully followed through on something, failed to attain the operational success I wanted and needed, walked around with what I call the Johnny Vegas syndrome, like I knew better than everyone else. Those mirror moments of genuine vulnerability have a way of actually making you stronger. As I asked and answered this exhausting list of questions, I realized I wasn't just ready to make that choice and invest in myself and the Hero Club. I was ready to explain why it mattered. I was ready to own it as part of my purpose, what Simon Sinek would call my why. And why was I doing this? Because I felt something changing, not just in me, but in the country I love. I believe we're at a crossroads where we have a chance for real change in the way we do business. All those people looking for purpose and direction ask, who will lead? Who will propel innovation, change the culture of the workplace to be more inclusive, and drive the evolution of this country? The answer? The heroes. Entrepreneurism is America's spirit. Hero is America's destination. We need hero leaders and companies to reclaim the best parts of the American spirit of free enterprise and entrepreneurialism. We need to abandon the scarcity mentality. For me to win, you or someone else has to lose. For an abundance mentality that is win-win for all. But if we, as a nation, are going to go do this, organizations and their leaders need to light a collective fire. And to start this fire, we need catalysts. More leaders and companies that are choosing the path of hero leadership. That's where we start, by making a choice. It's time to pick a side. I believe we're entering the age of hero businesses and leaders. This may sound strange in an era of #MeToo, when people we thought were our heroes are being exposed for decidedly unheroic acts and attitudes. But that's the point. Hero is a destination, one you choose to drive to and hold yourself accountable for once you get there. It's not a place where you can automatically or accidentally end up, even if you win the lottery. We have had enough of leaders who beat each other down and fail to build futures for us, our children, and our children's children. Now is the time for hero leaders to transform their organizations and reclaim what has been lost or stuck in the status quo. The door is open for hero companies and leaders to build that better tomorrow. Are you ready to answer that call to hero leadership? I'm ready, and I'm putting my size and my mouth, and those of you who know me know that both are quite large, behind answering that call to hero leadership and helping you feel it so you answer it too. But first, let's talk about what exactly I mean by the word hero. When I say hero, for our purposes here, I'm not talking about the first responders, police, firefighters, and the men and women of our military who put their lives on the line to protect ours. I'm also not talking about the people who risk their lives to save someone else. God bless all of them. But no one needs to die to be a hero in corporate America. Besides, it takes much more than a single act of heroism to make a hero. You need to have the courage to light and run into the proverbial fire again and again. So if you think listening to this book will do the trick, or cutting a big check to charity will turn you from a zero to a hero, I hope you've saved your receipt. I'm done with anyone who sees people as commodities, pawns to enrich themselves alone. Enough with the villains and predators, losers and louts, lazy asses and complacent cowards, pessimists and naysayers, obstructionists and clowns, blamers and dividers, politicians and PR people who say the right things but never act on them. What I'm asking is for you to become a person with big ideas and noble ideals who preaches and puts into practice the principles of this book. Someone of spirit and tenacity, values and purpose, goodness and selflessness, who leads your organization or team from the head and the heart. I'm looking for social entrepreneurs and CEOs, business owners small and large, who have the courage and commitment to consistently and constantly give back and give more to serve others, even when warning signs in Wall Street say to quit. The ones who welcome all people and all points of view to the table. The ones who make a difference in people's lives and still beat the competition to win in the workplace and the marketplace. Yes, you can win and have fun doing it by serving people. And again, I mean all people. Partners, communities, customers, country, environment, and the bottom line at the same time. Consider that list carefully, because those of you looking for an anti-capitalist, money is the root of all evil, 1%ers must go down manifesto should also return this book now. Hero companies and leaders, whether they are solo practices or have millions of global employees, can do all of that without dismissing the power of profit. No one in this book will ask you to accept the notion that making money is wrong. Heroes in my book are not saviors, martyrs, or even saints. Some of them can be jackasses or deeply flawed, and some of them are reluctant heroes. I realize that hero leaders and companies aren't perfect and never will be. They're more like my favorite superheroes, not the gods or demigods like Thor and Wonder Woman or aliens like Superman, but troubled, conflicted capitalists with no special powers, who in real life run great companies or countries like Batman, Black Panther, and Iron Man, especially Iron Man, as he doesn't hide who he is from the world. Then again, don't think you need to have a fortune like Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark to be a hero leader. The Bill Gateses, Warren Buffetts, and Mark Zuckerbergs of the world may get the headlines and pledge to give their fortune back in the long run, but America needs more everyday heroes who are creating a better future built on the entrepreneurial roots that made this country great. One built on the foundation of the past, but evolving to include more people in its progress. Some heroes might hail from Park Avenue, but I'm betting that more live on Main Street. These heroes understand a quote attributed to Henry Ford: "A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business." Money may be how we keep score, but any idiot can make money. We share this world with others and have a purpose beyond it. We need leaders and companies with hero mindsets who understand that. Without the right mindset, you'll never develop the qualities and implement the strategies to be a hero leader. You'll never have the highest hero factor. But what does that mean, Jeff? Great question. I'm glad you asked. The hero mindset. Having a hero mindset means today's leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners know they can't just serve their clients, shareholders, and themselves and expect their employees to take the leftovers. They need to connect with, listen to, and include their people, as well as customers, clients, partners, vendors, and communities, in the conversations about business. They must make them feel that their goals are aligned with the goals of the business and its leaders, because they are. Because they have real values, not just on paper, in the words of their corporate mission statements and annual reports, but seen every day in the culture of their organization. That's the first essential step in how companies and leaders display the hero factor. You may be on your way already. I believe most companies and leaders are, like me and my business, basically good. They want to be heroes. They just might not be as far along as they think in living, driving, and aligning their values through the organization. Or maybe they were doing well for a while, but got stuck in their stories. They became heroes or got close and then got complacent and failed to consistently and sustainably invest in and listen to their customers and the market, and coach their people to break free from the status quo and create and sustain hero cultures, to serve others and the common good, avoid reasons why not, and the lure of the dark side when things get tough, and strive to create the next generation of hero leaders. That's what I realized about myself and what the Hero Club needed too. Years before I joined, it only accepted CEOs and heads of billion-dollar companies. I argued that while operational excellence and sustained revenue were essential, you shouldn't need a pedigree worthy of Davos or Sun Valley to earn a Hero Club invite. We needed to welcome leaders whose fortunes did not equal the GDP of several countries combined, and whose corrupt corporate cultures often fail to value profits and people. We needed the next generation of heroes who rarely grab headlines and run businesses built on more than advertising slogans and spin, who find ways to lead with greater purpose that goes beyond free coffee in the office, who give back in ways beyond the well-meaning yet passive giving of a portion of proceeds going to charity, who go beyond sharing their treasure and use their time and talent to make an impact all year long. If that sounds like you, then let's take the ride to hero leadership together. Let's break free from antiquated leadership models, partisan politics, and valueless direction and create more hero leaders for our children and grandchildren's future. Let's choose to be heroes. What is your hero factor? The hero factor of any organization and leader is determined by combining scores from 0 to 10 on two equally weighted scales. All heroes must hold themselves accountable to operational excellence and hero intensity. Thus, the hero factor equation is as follows. Operational excellence, 0 to 10, plus hero intensity, 0 to 10, equal your hero factor, 0 to 20. To get your operational excellence, hero intensity, and hero factor scores, take the hero factor assessment at the end of this book or online by clicking the hero assessment link on the website for the hero factor, herofactorbook.com. The Hero Club, heroceoclub.com, or the Hayzlett Group, hayzlett.com. Then plot them on the hero factor scale to see what type of hero you are or aren't. Take it as many times as you want. See where you stand now after you finish part 1, which defines all 3 parts of the equation, and after you finish the whole book, which goes into depth on both parts of your hero intensity and the heart of your hero factor, your values and how you value others. See if your assessment of your hero factor changes. Let me do a little bit of freewheeling in this narration and explain the hero factor scale. Basically, you got 2 different parts of it, part going all the way up to the top and a part going all the way across the bottom. From 0 to 10 at the top, 0 to 10 on the bottom. And then we can factor you in, determining where you set in terms of whether you're a hero or near hero, you're a good company, a bottom liner, or a struggling do-gooder, a wannabe, or you're just a 0, meaning you're a loser. And so I want you to be able to go online, look at this chart, and then be able to plot yourself on this particular hero factor scale. It's a great way to determine whether you have strong values and you value people and profits, or you're not. You're a do-gooder where you're not making any profits, but you have really good values. You know, that's great, but that doesn't get you where you want to go. Or you could be a bottom liner, a strong operation in need of hero help. So lots of different ways to be able to look at yourself in terms of being a 0, or what I like to refer to as a hopeless asshat, a wannabe, a little bit of both, but not enough of either, a good company, a bottom liner, a struggling do-gooder, or get to where you need to be that's going off the chart to the top right-hand side of that chart, a hero company with strong values that values peoples and profits. So go online and take a look at where you stand on the hero factor scale. Chapter 2, Operational Excellence. Most of you know what operational excellence means for what you do and how long you've been in business. You've also heard it discussed and dissected countless times by me and those much smarter than me in books, videos, blogs, magazines, TV shows, and elsewhere, which makes operational excellence the easier of the 2 scales to define and definitely the least messy part of the hero factor equation. So while I dedicate 2 parts of this book to understanding your and your organization's hero intensity, the heart of the hero factor, this short chapter is all the time I will spend on operational excellence, the head of the hero factor. That's not because operational excellence isn't essential. After all, it's half your hero factor score, but because it is so much simpler to define. That said, operational excellence will live in the background and occasionally the foreground of all we discuss when it comes to your hero intensity. I simply will not go into much depth on it beyond this chapter, and I'll spend little time defining terms any experienced business person should know. I couldn't possibly lay out all the details, nuances, and exceptions that apply to every organization, industry, and customer base, nor...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?